she's not even a suspect at all. So, and this is really painful. And this is why most of us, believe me, this is why most of us came on board on this, and that, come on, this is too glaring for everybody to see that there is a prime suspect here, and which is the closest person to Mohbad. And why is the protection being given to this individual this far when there are glaring evidence here and there? And then the people who announced Mohbad's passing on, at what point did they get involved with Mohbad's corpse? At what point did they have interaction? All these things were all shrouded in mysteries, and it was so unclear. The court didn't establish anything for us. And then we are now hearing that they are going to reopen again. Are they reopening on a new ground? For us to be clear that, okay, we are bringing in new suspects, because I heard Gurezi talking about them having a marathon. They're having like 6 of the witnesses coming, 6 hours and this thing on the court coming to do the inquest. But I don't know how this will be, because if it is a new inquest entirely, then that will give us confidence. But if it is the same inquest that Falana wrote to the state government to start, then I begin to suspect seriously, because the government have not given us enough confidence to believe in them that this case, they are handling it with the right intent of getting justice for this poor boy. And also the police have compromised seriously on their own investigation that is so glaring for everybody to see, that there was no investigation at all. They just cherry pick the suspect, and then they are working towards a predefined solution to the case, and possibly making the nurse or prime boy the 4 people or the 4 guys here. And in full glare of the whole public, when there are some other evidence that is greatly overwhelming for us to see. So IT guy, Brekete has done great opening up this case. There are so many other issues here and there that may arise or arise because of some certain errors here and there. But believe me, Brekete is a shooting balm for everybody. For me, I can now sleep. I'll keep an eye on the case without being troubled as such, that no, this thing is being swept under the carpet, and we are watching, and we cannot make any valuable contribution to correct this part. Nigeria is bad for real, but not this worst when we see a clear homicide case, and we know the suspect, the prime suspect, and where these things happened, and then we are seeing so many shield covering this. And also for all the guys supporting women that usually come on this platform, I just have this for you. You need to start thinking, because if you don't think properly, you risk even losing your sanity on this. How can you be supporting something that is obviously wrong, obviously illogical, something that is not logical? The other day, the movie guys, what is the top movie, was talking about menstruation. I was really, and I think Paparano should stop entertaining this kind of people. If they come, if they are not logical, you drop them off. Let's face the justice part. We've gone past this period when Flora and the rest, Abate and the rest will come here and cause different kinds of distraction. We are on the right path to justice, and Brekete is leading it. And I hope he is making mistake. Let me make my submission. I'm about to finish. And if Brekete is making any mistakes here and there, we can observe these mistakes and put these things on the right trajectory. Thank you, IT. You can go ahead.
Okay. So, you've actually sort of like submitted rightfully, and you've covered every corners. and especially the involvement of Brekete. We have to give it to Brekete. Why? Because he does sort of like his own research, but he's far-reaching in terms of getting people in authority to kind of come to play. And you said something very crucial. If something is meant to be local, when does it become a state material? And if it's a state material, when does it become a national material? When does it become a material that ended up in Abuja? People suddenly started requesting, maybe we should take the case from Lagos, from that jurisdiction to Abuja, because Abuja then becomes national. Right? Brekete is done a great job and is actually speaking the minds of fellow Nigerians, and his advocacy is culminative of all the aspect of what we've been crying about on TikTok. Now, his platform is far-reaching, and we need to congratulate him really for pushing things to a point where we now have transparency, and the transparency allows us to now know the effort that has been instilled into the whole process to now realize that there are gaps. And you said, why would a state then get involved? They will get involved because within your jurisdiction, if things are not sort of like well aligned, and the police force and their findings cannot be relied upon by the public, then at the end of the day, you will have to now get involved. And Paparano did say that, you know, it will not take too many Nigerians to put the money together and get an independent autopsy. That will not take 10 weeks. And I've also mentioned that the whole process itself, people in authority that is actually responsible to give us the outcome of this, need enough time to put the pieces of the jigsaw together to now start looking at aspect of this investigation and interrogation that they've got wrong. That is one aspect of it. But we have a situation right now that you mentioned something about funds being released. I believe that the reason why this whole thing is wishy-washy and the reason why they want to put less effort into it is that our police force generally is not sort of like well nourished in terms of funds. So if you need capacity, it's not just going to constabulary and actually meet police in there that will say, oh guys, write your statement, sign it, and then bail is free and all this malarkey. Now this is a situation that I know so many people, families would not have got justice and would have been swept under the carpet. Albeit this time around, this guy is a celebrity, and the public is now interested in the outcome of this whole process. Now, you mentioned something about the coronary aspect of things. With all things being equal, and I will not sort of like single Nigeria out. Everywhere in the world, with all things being equal, the coroner inquest is to establish the cause of death. Now, if there's a foul play, then it goes to the higher court, and people will be brought in, and people will be questioned. This time around, we now have a case against you. Now, if the coroner process stalled, and you want to realign it, that is a red card. That is a situation that should not have been allowed to happen. And there is always aspect where people also think that people in authority are involved in this case. This is no ordinary case, and that's the reason why they will mention Oba somewhere. Oba somewhere is aligned or linked to some state governor that probably want to protect the Oba and all that. So the whole situation, as you rightfully said, Brekete is actually brought it out to not just to the public, just to kind of address the whole issue, advocate on behalf of the public. It's actually got the authorities in Nigeria now to now wake up and realize that this is no ordinary case, and this is not a case that they can brush under the carpet. But one thing we need to be wary and careful about is actually that the process in which Brekete is going to go and his outreach, there is a limit to what he can do before we then have to all just wait for that 10 weeks to come. So what have you got to say to that about that, Mr. Saka?
Of course,
It's
there are
limitations. It's limitations.
yes, his limitation so far. I think it has to do with what the state government presents that could cause the limitation. For me, he has no limitation as of now. Going forward, you can approach the court for anything he wants, and he can take on the government based on the results that they present. So there are no limitations as such. And then there's fund. It's being funded by some foreign partners. So there's fund. There's so many things working out for him. So the limitations will arise from what the government and the bottlenecks that we throw into this. Because I see the government always throwing up a kind of bottleneck. The 10 weeks is another form of bottlenecks in this case, because we for the time we've waited so far, nobody ever believed that we're still going to wait for another 10 weeks. When the governor itself told us about sometimes in December, I think precisely December 18, if I'm correct, when a lady took her on this same Mohbad issue, the governor was visibly angry and was making a serious case for the the laboratory, the forensic center in Lagos that was burnt up during the SARS protest. And from my own observation, though I've not taken people there to investigate, from the picture I see, the damage at the forensic center was not vast. It was just a part of the administrative block that was burnt. Part of the administrative block that was, but I have not visited there myself personally, but I have spoken with people in the know. It was just part of the administrative block that was burned, not the total equipment. And we have also some of these informations online. You can check it. So when they based the delay and the anger on the SARS protest and the SARS protest as the main cause why we need to wait for that long, because the this thing will be sent abroad. For goodness sake, we have laboratories here in Nigeria that have credibility and they can do this same test within weeks and it will be out. We have laboratory in University of Ibadan teaching hospital here, and we have a laboratory in Lagos there that do different kinds of tests they are well known and vast. They can do the same test for us. And even if we are even doing our own independent test on the body, the pathology test on the body, we can do it locally. We don't need to take it out, but we get the same result, because for those giving us the result, the integrity of the organization is at stake. The integrity of the issuing body is at stake. So they will do due diligence to do their test, especially when they know the gravity of this case and the interest that is involved. Yeah.
In terms of limitations, what I am actually trying to bring up here is actually that Brekete can advocate as much as he can, as much as he wants. His limitations will be he's not representing Baba Mohbad directly, and actually there are lawyers and there are things Baba Mohbad himself needs to do with his team of lawyers to kind of move things forward. That's what I meant by limitations. I know that Brekete has got a platform to actually give us, voice. But even if Brekete himself is going to advise these people based on his findings, it is still up to Baba Mohbad's network to engage with their lawyers and actually make things happen. And that is where Brekete's limitation actually kicks in.
Yeah, but I think Baba Mohbad is with him already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he cannot go and present things anywhere. He's not a lawyer. He's not an advocate that can do anything anywhere on behalf of the man. He can only advise. It's up to the man and his team. Based on, I'm doing a great job for you to go and do the findings and give you a voice and actually make people in authority make moves in places where things have stalled. It is still up to you, the concerned, that work with your people around you to make these things happen. So one thing, obviously, if maybe people in authorities or Brekete and everybody's listening, what Brekete should be coming out with now for everybody in Nigeria is to know what the steps Baba Mohbad and his team are taking to make things happen. Where are they today? Who is doing what? In the next 10 weeks, what exactly are they doing? Are they going to wait for 10 weeks to come? Or the people concerned actually have got other little things they need to do to make sure that when we get the outcome of the autopsy in 10 weeks time, they've also sort of like, put a fine-tooth comb in place to make sure they are ready to progress from there.
Yeah, Baba Mohbad actually even have very little to do in this case because it's a state case, it's a murder case, it's a state case. And what they can actually do is just put pressure like he's doing through Brekete. If Baba Mohbad can actually do these things on his own with his lawyer, I don't think he actually needed that platform. Let me tell you the platform Brekete has. Brekete has the right to do a private investigation on this case. He has the right because he's a mediator. He's an international mediator. So he can actually come in this case, do a private investigation on this case. He can apply to the right court, even with or without Baba Mohbad. But he makes it only very, with strong integrity and with a strong story. For every event, there's a story behind every event. In fact, our lives revolves around stories. So we create stories every day. So what we are discussing now is a story. The story of how Mohbad's end up. And so the stories and the investigations will revolve around the story itself. And then through his own investigation, he can present this to the court. He can do that, Brekete, with or without Baba Mohbad's input. Because he is a murder case, and so it's a state case. And he can do that investigation based on the fact that he has done that in the past, based on his international reputation as a mediator. So when these things happens, he can investigate. He has the right to investigate, and he can do these things well. So Baba Mohbad's involvement is just to, for instance, maybe the DNA and all those things. But apart from that, he has little to do. He has little to do. So, but he needs the support, and that's why he has gone to Brekete. He needs the support, people who can ask the right questions from the authority, and the authority will pay attention to him. Let me give you an example. Can Baba Mohbad call the commissioner of police and ask him what is happening to the autopsy and toxicology report? He can't. He will not even give him an audience. They went through different protocols. But you can see Brekete put a call directly to him, and it's generated some kinds of resistance. So which shows that this, in fact, in the commissioner's first response to, he said in Yoruba, you can, because I was listening live and I rewind the tape over and over again. He said, "Kilo feso." He said that in Yoruba, the commissioner himself. He said, "Kilo feso." Yes, why are you pushing me? That was what the commissioner said. But before that time, he said, "Kilo feso." That is what did. He's already aware that Brekete wants to call him, and so he put that call to him directly, asked him the right questions, and he promised. After the initial fights they had on her, then he recalled him back, and then they were able to figure out to discuss things out. And then the next day promised to give answers. And then he called him the next day, and this is where we are. So Baba Brekete, Baba Mohbad, even with all the team of lawyers, wouldn't have achieved these things. Wouldn't have achieved this, just this significant information that we need to wait for 10 weeks. He wouldn't have. So, yeah.
This is thing is, you're saying all the right things, but at the end of the day, the process is actually wrong. So if we deal with this whole case, do we learn anything from it? Are we able to put something on the system, our system, to get a systemic in future to then investigate cases like this, regardless of whether you're a celebrity or not? Similar way, as in like the right process, because everything you're saying is correct, but we go in about it the wrong way. Advocacy is fine. Firing to get the right people in authority to have no choice than to come and say something because they don't want riot in the country. That is also fine. But it's still not the right way to do it.
It's right.
Yes. Hello, the IT. Hello? Okay.
I can hear you, yes, carry on.
Okay. If I may say a word to that, we have a lot to learn, and even the system has a lot to learn. And the thing is, the government initially wanted to do this case or make this matter be the same way they have been doing. These people will shout and we will just throw everything on the bus and they go and rest. But our resilience, our doggedness, and our focus in the fight pushed us down to Brekete, who called them out using his platform. Not even Brekete as a person, but the platform to reach out to those that matters. Reach out to the world to hear what is happening inside one local government or in one state of Nigeria. So, and one thing about Nigerian politicians or Nigerian government is that they don't like to be exposed. So the lesson we're going to learn all together from this is that it's not going to be, it's no longer business as usual if we take the right route. If we take the right, if we go through the right channel, nothing can be done and you sweep it under the carpet. If the public is ready to hold you accountable or hold you responsible for what is happening, it's a lesson that nobody is a Superman and nobody can decide for the public except if the public keeps quiet. So the lesson is that our silence is what is harming us the more. If we speak out, our voice is our weapon.
Okay, Mr. Gorexi.
A minute. The height guy. The height guy, a minute, please. So, going by your last, I just wanted to make one contribution so you can give the response together alongside Mr. Gorexi. So, we learn every day. And going by your last statement, some minutes ago, you said, a lot of things has been said, but you feel Brekete platform is not still the right way or is not doing things right enough. So what do you think with the whole scenario, with the way the police has handled the case, with the way the state government has handled the case, what would you have thought the right way and effective results achieved? Thank you.
Okay, if that is for me, don't misquote me. I'm saying to you, Brekete is doing a great job. And I mentioned how far-reaching it can go to get people in authority, hold them to accounts. But what I'm saying, that is not the right process. That's not the right way things should be done. And Gorexi is saying something about we have to learn lessons. The lessons we need to learn from this is to now get our processes in place to make sure they instill the same thing in. So in future, if there's any form of injustice, if there's any form of, let me finish, if there's any justice, then we don't have to
you're not getting the question.
We are helpless. I'm getting the question. Let me finish. Just listen to me. Yeah. So that we don't end up in a position where we are helpless and we end up on Brekete's platform again. You see, when you say lessons learned in any trade in the world is all about using the lesson you've learned, instill that into the process and make changes so that if similar situation happens in future, it gets done properly. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying there is any flaw in what Brekete is doing. He's doing a great job, but what I'm saying is actually that we need to make sure that when this thing is done and dusted, we don't end up in this situation in future. That's all.
IT, if I have to buttress what you said, I'm sorry, ma. What he's trying to say is, must we pass through Brekete before we get justice? A deed has been done. A deed has been done, and in a normal situation, justice should be served even without anybody calling or demanding for it. It is the work of the government. It is the duty of the state. Must we now stoop to the street, run to Abuja, use a public platform before we can be heard? If we have the resources and we have the manpower to do all this, how many innocent citizens might have died in such a way that they might not have that initiative of going to Brekete? Is it everybody that have access to Brekete? Is it everybody that has knowledge that one Brekete is somewhere that can help out? Even the Brekete, you can be there for weeks without even doing anything. When a matter of exigency is on ground that the state need to intervene. So that's what he's saying. The lesson we have learned is our politicians, they should be rest assured nothing. We are going to, until they wake up from their slumber and they are ready to hold the bull by the horn. But we know that nobody, like Yoruba will say, it is now that they should know that whatever happens, if the public is ready to hold you accountable for it, you are gonna give account.
Yeah, Grekete, thank you. So all I'm saying is, what can we do as a nation? What can we do to press people in authority to make sure this doesn't repeat itself? So people are getting it wrong. I'm not saying this guy hasn't done a great job. He's done a great job. And I'm still saying, if this case finishes and we're happy with the outcome, if something similar happens in future, how do we address this now to make sure we don't end up in the same predicament? That's all I'm saying.
So, okay, if I'm just going to give how I think the right things can be done to avoid the repetition of this same mistake. Only when we have the right people in authorities, when we have people who are not greedy, when we have people who are not partial, when we have people with authority who do not kill to save their own. Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear? My network is kind of not okay, but I think I can manage. Like what the IT guy is saying, can anyone hear me? Yeah, but when you said that Brekete is not is doing a great job, but the right channel is not okay. It's not the right way to go on. I don't think you're right with that statement, with due respect, sir. Because it's not ever, I want you to know that the case with Brekete is not everything that he is doing on the ground that is going to come online and tell you and I. There are some things that he is doing, you know, they are doing underground that they cannot come on the social media and expose to and tell us or expose everything to us.
Hello, ma.
All I think we should do now is to
I'm sorry to interject. You are not getting what the question is. Leave Brekete out of it. Brekete is doing exactly.
No.
Okay.
No, sir, Mr. Gures, please don't interject me. I know what I'm talking about, please. Because he said, no, I know they asked a question, but I just want to chip in this for what he said. You know, if he said that is not the right channel or that is not how to process the whole stuff, that is where he's making that mistake from. Somebody that is doing, it's not everything that you yourself as a person, you'll be doing that you're going to tell all your friends, you're going to tell all your family. There's some things he's doing that he's not going to tell us or tell people on the media that we're going to know about. So I think instead of us having another mindset like, okay, what's he doing? We've not here 10 weeks. We're going to wait for 10 weeks. I know we're going to wait for that 10 weeks, but before that 10 weeks, do we know? Do you know that he's trying to do other things on the ground? There are some things he's doing on the ground that we don't know as well. You understand? All we can bring out for us is the results, sir. Please let me land. Please, sir. You have been talking. Let me land my submission. I'm not going to stay long on it. Just little. Please. So we should be patiently for him to. I know before that 10 weeks come, we will get another good results. We must put our minds together like, okay, we're going to get this justice successfully, no matter what it takes. I know how we feel as individual on this case. I know. But we shouldn't use because the way we feel the way we feel, then we should just come to conclusion, try to do everything fast, everything quickly. No, we must take it step at a time, just one step at a time. Then we will get to where we are going to. You understand? I just chip this, but let me hear the question, Mr. Gores. I didn't hear the question from you, but if you can explain the question, I will love it.
From me. Under what condition, if you consider a case of this magnitude, does a human rights activist get involved? Under what condition, generally? A case of this magnitude. Just if we believe that Brekete is a human rights activist, under what condition do you think human rights activists actually come into play with a case of this magnitude?
I don't think you should ask that question now. Way forward is what we should think about. I know it. Hold on, no, sir. Hold on. With due respect, sir. Hold on. I know the way you be. Sorry, Mercy Idris. I'm sorry, ma'am. The way you have been talking, I know you are from other party. It's so obvious. I take
Hold on, Mr.
Let me answer the question. Hold on.
If you can't answer the question, you can let somebody else answer the question.
Let me answer the question.
Yes, hold on. I know why I said so.
In a process where the justice system in a country, fails, a human rights activist then comes into play. As in, people then go to human rights activists, and as we know, is registered with the United Nations and all that kind of stuff, and then it will be global reaching, it will be far reaching, right? And the thing is, when people keep advocating and keep saying all this thing, someone is on what camp, or you will never find me, and I always say, on a panel in any platform, although I go to other platforms and listen to what people say. Me, I don't sit on the fence. I say it as I do. And if you're gonna go down the route of saying someone belongs to one camp, that's up to you. That is your prerogative, is your opinion. But I come here, and it's only this platform you will find me saying anything anywhere on the panelist aspect of things. And I still maintain the fact that the moment a human rights activists actually jump onto a case in any country in the world, it means that the judiciary process has failed the entire public. And what I'm saying is, Brekete is doing a great job, but Brekete is not part of our judicial system. It is when things is outside and failed, what can we do to make sure we get justice without having to go to a network of all things, an independent network to actually have our voice heard. But be very careful when you start kind of insinuating that someone is being paid to come from one camp to one camp. Yeah, you don't know me and you can't judge me. And if you know me too well, you will know nobody can pay me even a dime. No, a dime, if you know me, to come and go to. And I don't go to any platform. This is my platform. This is where I stay, and I stay with Papariano. So be careful when you say things of that nature. Mercy Idris, carry on.
Good morning, everyone. I think I actually came out to respond to you because I was in this comment section, and I know you came out about a few weeks ago repeating the same thing you are saying right now. My question to you is that since this mobile issue has been up here, the government refused to give us what we wanted to hear. And let's not forget that thanks to Brekete, we know what we are expecting now, even if we know that, yes, maybe it's a little bit relent and we are not getting what we want. Everything is not okay, because we've done this since September till a few weeks ago until Brekete came into this case, and we can start seeing light. We should appreciate that part a little bit. Okay, our president is not there to start fighting with the government until he have a proof to hold in his hands. When he said 10 weeks, it's not stupid to say, okay, let's wait for that 10 weeks. You people want him to start fighting the government. Oh, why did you give me 10 weeks? Now, I want to ask a question. We all are saying this. How many of us take our phone in the morning to still keep calling, since he has not done Mubarak's case now for the past a week now? Has anyone take it upon his or herself to keep calling Brekete every morning and try and prompt him and remind him for this text we are all waiting for, this 10 weeks we are all waiting for, that issue? You should do something about it. Has anyone done it? So please, if
Don't
someone
contradict yourself.
Oh,
You
God, I'm not
just told us to
contradicting
wait for 10
myself.
weeks.
I am not, because you keep saying Brekete is doing a great job, but in the other side, you keep condemning what he's doing.
I'm not condemning what he's doing. I'm speaking. I'm not condemning
The
anything.
IT man, the IT man, can you mute? Let people talk. You are not the only one on the panel. Let people talk. The IT man guy.
Saying all the wrong things.
Let people talk.
But
I'm the only one on the panel.
Commissioner of
Madam,
Police,
go
did
sit,
we
please.
know that all the tests were nothing was done since September? All of us were just waiting because the police, they thought that we're going to be shouting and we'll get tired. We were just waiting to hear from them. No one heard anything until last 2 weeks before we heard something from them. So please, if someone is doing something, we should be a little bit patient and
Hello,
we join them together.
Hello, ma'am.
Together and fight this race. Because if you keep coming and start using one mouth to say they are doing a great job at the same time and this, no, please. Don't
Hello,
be
ma'am.
discouraging us.
Hello.
Don't be discouraging us.
Hello.
Because you know people that came up to come and say.
Hello.
And another thing I want to say before I go, Parano has been saying this is a week. This 10 weeks is how did he say it? Is someone can remind me what Parano has been saying. Parano, let me tell you, you need to as well calm down.
He said it's a negotiating
It's a
period.
negotiation, please. But Parano, you need to calm down with that statement, please, because you are making us to start doubting. Don't make us doubt. We are all hoping for the best. We are all hoping for justice. So please stop saying that you are telling us that 10 weeks is a negotiation. Who is going to negotiate with ordinary president? Who is going to negotiate with him? So please don't be saying that word that is it money they want to pay him, or what do you think they want to give to him? So please, let's just calm down, join our hands together, pray for Brekete, support them in every way. You brought out a very good questions to Goresi, and he heard you this morning. He's going to go from there. You always give us a good point about the pathologies and all that. You are doing a good point. All this distraction, and Brekete is not ready to compromise with those people. I beg, he's there for justice for us. Let's support him and get this justice. Thank you, everybody. I'm up.
No, wait, Madam Idris. Don't go, please. We are just for a few minutes. If I'm to respond, let me just respond. I thank. Hello, ma'am.
I'll be listening, but let me calm down, please.
Okay. I appreciate your contribution. Let me just say something to the last statement before I move to the other one. Quite well. It's a very good observation, and you spoke exactly what's on my mind. Creating a doubt in people's mind could sometimes kill the spirit. All we need is encouragement, and at least if there need to be speed up, add to our speed, or fasten our seatbelt, we should be encouraged and be told to do so. Probably Paparano should lower the way he hit the button on the turntable. And on what you said, what Mr. IT was trying to say is this: he never condemned or he never spoke bad about Brekete. We all admitted in very high magnitude that Brekete has done a great job. That if not for this man, the matter would still be under their carpet where they step on it. And at the end of the day, believing that we are going to forget it the way we have been, other issues have been forgotten. It was, there is something in Nigeria, they said, inconclusive election. Most agitation and most protests in Nigeria have been inconclusive. I'm sorry to say. Apology to those who fully got involved in the NSAS. Everything they have been doing, the government have made it inconclusive. But on this, they thought it was going to be like that. And thanks to the man who has brought it to a broader limelight. And the question he asked is that, must we, in case of future occurrence, still pursue our race to the level of going for Brekete before justice, that is an elementary function of the government, should be served? Must an external influence who is not part of the government be involved before we can get justice? Because normally, the thing is, the right institution of government, they are supposed to take up a case when there is a wrongdoing anywhere. You don't even need pressure from the public. It's just that, okay, bring their notice to what is happening. Then the right authorities and appropriate authorities are going to deal with it. The police will wait in, the judiciary will wait in, the government structures are going to wait in automatically. Not that they will be forced to do it. That what can we do to avoid all these overstretching of forces and trying to pursue in the developed countries? You don't need anybody to tell the government that a house was burgled, somebody was killed, and you have to take the matter to a human rights activist who will now challenge the government to do the needful. That what can we do for us to have a responsive government agency or government institutions that will handle the area of giving justice? That's just the question. It's not that he spoke down of Brekete or he said Brekete has not done enough. He has done even what, and he said what he achieved, lawyers can, even Baba team couldn't have achieved it, no matter how diligent or outworking they have been.
Gregson,
Yes, bro.
can you tell me one thing Brekete has done in this case? Just one, please.
One. Okay. He has made the government to be responsive. The government has not been responsive on this case.
And what is what is a responsive that please you as a citizen of a functioning country?
Of a functioning country. That is the question IT is asking.
No, me, I'm asking you. You are so pleased with what Brekete has done.
They were not responsive at all. But now, one, they are able to give us a timeline. Two, they are giving us a location. Hold on.
Are you happy about the timeline, or you are happy that the government is now beginning to function because of Brekete?
I'm not happy with the time we've wasted, but I'm happy that we have a date.
Oh, Brekete, make the government to give us a date.
Well, yeah. He called the commissioner and they just, this thing is taking the time they just give us. They've not done anything, mind you. Well, either you take it or you don't take it. That's just it.
May God help us as a people, as a country. I hope we get things right. I hope we get there.
That's what we're saying. That's what the IT is saying.
Anyway, I don't know how many of these cases do you want me to read for you, because I've been reading so many of them. I mean, cases where customary court, and most of the cases is the customary court that has been given, that have been ordering, like in the case between, let me read for you, and Idiogungu customary court in Agodi, Ibadan, ordered a DNA test to be conducted to determine the biological father of a 3-year-old boy. The president of the wait. The president of the court, Chief Mukaila Balogun, gave the order when the mother of the child, Monsurat Adeleke, and her estranged lover, Bayo Gunsola, could not convince the court on the boy's paternity. Balogun directed that the two parties share the cost of the DNA test and return to the court on March 27. Okay, which year? Let me go to the year. 1 minute. Okay, this is 2017, February 28, 2017.
Okay.
You have issue with the year? They are all recent. They are all recently. So in this case, the woman argued that the strange guy has been using juju on him, that she was married to her husband, and she argued that her husband owns the baby. But the estranged husband said, no, I own that baby. So juju is not used in the court, and the customary court, like, they didn't accept her reasons because the woman didn't want to have the DNA done. She believed that man, Bayo, I hope Bayo is not here, has been using juju on him, like to sleep with her, to take her from place to place for good 3 years. So, and that was not convincing, and so the DNA was ordered in that particular case. And there are so many other cases.
Bayo what?
Wait. Let me give you the name, just 1 second. The name of the parties involved. Let me scroll. So, 1 second. Okay, the president of the court, Chief Mukaila Balogun, okay, is the one who gave the order, and the mother of the child is Monsurat Adeleke. Just write DNA case between Monsurat Adeleke and Bayo Ogunsola, presided by Judge Mukaila Balogun. Just put that, do a quick research of that, and then maybe I'll give it out of Anoze and so many other cases. But should I be doing this? I mean, is this what we should be doing? Are you the one handling the DNA case? I mean, and why are you doing so? When the public could easily get that, we can get the best lawyer in the country. I mean, I keep asking myself, okay, when I'm saying this week is a negotiating week, I want all of you to hate me. I want to be in good health. I don't want to be deceived. My brain don't deceive me. You don't play me. People don't play. You don't play a player. Okay? If you guys fall for these tricks easily, I don't fall for tricks easily. We know nothing we can do. We are fighting against the state. It is powerful. But at least put up some fight.
Nobody falls for tricks, and nobody.
No. Did you just confirm? Sorry. No, don't just jump into a comment. Did you confirm what you went to check?
Hold on now. Hold on.
No. Don't jump from left to right. Confirm that, then come here. We are in this.
I want to talk about.
No, don't come into. I'm driving right now. Check that one first, and then come here.
I have checked.
So what did you see there?
Thank you. Nobody should be a Superman in this matter. What I have seen there is that one, they are not married at all. Estranged lover.
No. You said situations where customary court ordered for paternity test. So is this one different?
Well, of husband and wife.
Are you trying to tell me that customary court cannot order for DNA? What are you saying? I don't understand.
Of husband and wife.
No. I want to know from your own perspective, from your own intelligence. Are you saying that customary court cannot order?